I'm Don Coffey,
And I'm Sylvia Coffey.
and we're here on our 43 acres land. It's been in the Woods and Waters Land Trust for about 5 years now. I guess the most important thing to me from the beginning, when we first found out about Woods and Waters, was the opportunity to ensure that this beautiful piece of land would never be subdivided and the trees would never be logged off. As when we first came here, we bought the land in 1991 and moved here, built a house and moved here within a year. The big trees on this place were about 60 years old then at that time. We've been here nearly 30 years. So after most of a century, we got some really big trees on this place, and you can just see them getting older and richer as the years roll by.
And my interest is that to leave this in one piece of property is so that the other living things, wildlife, that they will have somewhere to be and have a natural setting, because we've put in our requirement is we do not want any chemicals on the property. And so we want it to be natural. We want nature to be able to do what she does best. And we have had the pleasure of watching it happen.
When we first got the place, my heart's desire was to have some Scottish Highland cattle. They're not an endangered breed, but they're a little bit rare in this country, and they're beautiful. There's 7 different colors of Scottish Highlanders, and I just thought it would be so neat to have these beautiful little cattle that evolved in the Great Highlands. They're small, size of like Angus. So I put electric fence around the whole back half of the place, and we had cattle like there for 6 or 7 years. The idea was that we would have
A herd.
heifer calves,
Yeah.
and the herd would grow, and we could sell them, and there would be money. And that was the idea, but it never worked out because the cows had nothing but bull calves,
Yeah.
and the herd did not grow. And so after 6 or 7 years, we finally passed those on to other Highland cattle owners. And it was only then, when the cattle were gone, and took up the electric fence and started really noticing, that I realized how utterly destructive our cattle to both the pastures and the woods, because they were partly in the woods as well as open spaces. Their hooves are sharp, and whatever they go in, they destroy utterly. That land back there looked awful after 6 or 7 years of having cattle on it, and I didn't really realize until then. So what has happened since then, we made a conscious decision to let that land, that pasture and that part of the woods, go back to nature, and it's been the most wonderful thing to watch it happen. It's a slow process. I'd say a full return will take at least 20, 25 years. But year by year, you see little things happening. It was only just 1 or 2 years after the cattle were gone, I began to notice these little tufts of grass. It's not like bluegrass and not like fescue. It's little tufts that are native to this part of Kentucky. There's 100 different ways that nature comes back when you just do nothing and let it do its natural thing. And it's been a joy to watch this happen.
And we're hoping that there are other landowners who will join Woods and Water Land Trust, because we need more acreage for nature and for people as well as animals in the wild.
You know, there's very few places that children can go these days and find a place that is truly naturally returned to nature. And the ones that are natural out there are slowly being developed out of existence. So it's very much our hope that this place will be used by everyone. We'd like to preserve it and let it keep going the way it's going, and make it a place that the generations after us can enjoy. We're only here for a while, so we don't truly own this place. Our name's on a deed. What does that mean 50 years after you're dead and gone? Nobody owns the land. Just ask any Native American. Nobody owns the land. We are temporary stewards at best. So our hope is to be as good a stewards as we can. And partnering with the Woods and Waters Land Trust has certainly made that possible. We are just delighted that Woods and Waters came into existence and we found them.